guess it is supposed to be joining the audio. Okay, so computer audio connected. Nope. There I am. Hey guys, how you doing? This is actually recording right now, so this is going to be fun because it'll be out there. And I am going to just real quick, just let everybody know that we're on. So let me get to my event. And this will be recorded, and hopefully I'll be able to put it in the event when I get done. So... and there's my phone buzzing again. Isn't that awesome? There you go. We're on. Okay. So we're here at Friends Center, and Lori's with me. We were just going through what we're going to be doing. So this is kind of way our Wednesdays are going to run. Last year, I taught a class, and it was on mindset. But one of the things that really frustrated me about it is I believe everything is connected, your body, your mind, and your soul. And one of the things I couldn't do is I couldn't actually put it all together. I dealt a lot with mindset, but I didn't do a lot with, and I did talk about soul and spiritual things, but I didn't do a lot with body. And it was really difficult because, you know, you're meeting in a classroom and blah, blah, blah. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to actually have a group that I put together that I've done online, but I've never done it live. So in Battle Creek, I'm actually doing this live right now. On Wednesday nights at Friends Center, we get together and we actually hold each other accountable, and we look at everything across what I call the gift. So let me show you this. This is kind of our sheet that we are going. This is a sheet that we're going to use. So if you're in this group or decide to join this group, this is what we're going to go through. And basically, what the gift is, it's a code that I live by. It's 4 anchors in life that I use to anchor myself, because mindset is everything. How you look at things is everything. There was a story that my coach told this week, and it's a true story. It's about a young man who school has started. So he went to school, and you know how teachers have you fill out what you did over the summer, and you fill out all these sheets and papers and stuff. And what he did was that one of the things on the sheets of paper that the teacher asked was, what do you want to do when you grow up? You know, what do you want to be? Well, he's in like 4th grade. And so he writes on the paper what he wants to be when he grows up, and he wants to be on TV. Now, the problem is that he had a horrible stuttering problem. I mean, it was horrifically bad stuttering problem. Well, the teacher saw that and thought, okay, he's just messing with me. He's just messing around and not being appropriate in class. So she called his mom and said, you know what, your son today was just a rip in class, and you need to talk to him because, you know, he's putting stuff like he wants to be on TV, and everybody knows he's got a stuttering problem. He can't be on TV. So, you know, you need to talk to him. So he gets home and mom's mad. Mom's like, what are you doing? Why do you have to be like that at school? Why can't you just, you know, be realistic and not do stupid things like that? She thought he was just being, you know, a rip, basically being a comedian or something. And he's like, well, I mean, she asked me what I want to do. I want to be on TV. Well, but he's got this really bad stuttering problem. So she said, well, wait till your dad gets home. So dad comes home. So she goes, look what your son did, and shows him the paper and says he wrote on there he wants to be on TV. Dad goes, what's wrong with that? Oh, then the marital fight begins. So the little boy gets sent to his room. So he goes to his room totally thinking that he's going to get whipped. That's basically what they said. I am going to get my hide tan when dad gets in here finally. Well, dad comes in after talking with mom, and dad walks in, and he goes, what's with this sheet? He goes, Dad, she asked me to write down what I want to do. I want to be on TV. He goes, okay. He said, well, what's she want you to put on the sheet? What's the teacher want? He goes, I don't know. Wants me to put I want to be a basketball player or a firefighter or a cop or a doctor or something like that. He said, I think that's what she wanted, but I put I wanted to be on TV. So he said, okay, here's what you're going to do. So she sent another sheet home for you to fill out. He said, you're going to put on that sheet what she wants to hear. So put on there you want to be a basketball player. You're going to write that down. But this sheet, the other sheet that you actually turned in, I want you to hang on to that, and I want you to, every morning, I want you to read what you wrote. And every night before you go to bed, I want you to read what you wrote. So I want you to do that morning, night. I want you to read. I want you to read exactly what you wrote morning and night. So the little boy said, okay, I'll do that. Well, the little boy gets older, and he's still pursuing his dream of wanting to be on TV, but he ends up homeless. He wanted to take care of his family, and the only way he could do that is if he cut his expenses down. So basically what he ended up doing is he lived out of his 1976 Ford Tempo for 3 years. 3 years. Had an igloo cooler in the back he used for a refrigerator. He washed up at hotel bathrooms and gas station bathrooms. Sometimes he would go to the local community pool, the showers there, and he would clean up there. But he held on to that piece of paper. So here he is, 36 years old, homeless, still has this piece of paper that he reads every morning and every night, same piece of paper that he's had since 4th grade that says, I'm going to be on TV. And then he gets his break. All his hard work pays off, and he gets on TV. So what's he do? He starts every Christmas, he buys a television set, and he ships it to his teacher, his 4th grade teacher, while she was still alive. Every Christmas, for almost a decade, she gets a brand new TV at Christmas from him. No matter where he is in the world or where he's traveling, he sends her a TV. Well, he goes back home and ends up coming in physical contact with his teacher. He meets her. And she says to him, you got to stop sending me TVs. The last 8 TVs you sent me, I didn't even need. I gave them away as gifts. And he said, you know why I'm sending you a TV? Because I want to make absolutely sure that you see me on TV, because he's on TV 7 days a week, multiple times a day. And his name happens to be Steve Harvey, the host of Family Feud. He's got his own Steve Harvey show on TV, Harvey's Heroes. He's done multiple TV specials, but I know on cable TV, you can't flip through channels and not see him at least once, twice, or maybe even 3 times a day in some way, shape, or form on TV. Because he wrote it down and he made it stick. And that's basically what this is. These are those anchors that are going to help you write it down and make it stick. And so they're 4 things that I use. The first one is God. And basically all that means is that you're willing to drive yourself deeper. You're willing to work on yourself inside. So you're reading something that's beneficial to you. You're reading something positive, and then you're journaling about it. And you're doing that. The next one is input, and input is everything that's good for your body. So that's our workouts that we're doing. We work out 4 days a week, and then the other 3 days we stretch, or we just try to make sure we can touch our toes, make sure that we're doing kind of a stretch thing for 15 or 20 minutes. But on Wednesday nights here at Friends Center, we're actually going to stretch. We're actually going to do yoga. We're going to do a program out of our catalog. We have 700 different workouts we can choose from, and we're going to choose some yoga. And we're actually going to do that and stretch and try to get our mobility. So we're going to look kind of goofy doing it, but we don't care. We need to do that. And Wednesday's a rest day for us and our workouts, because we only work out Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. But Wednesday's just a day for us to stretch and kind of rejuvenate ourselves. So we're going to do that. And then the next one is family. And that's basically investing in your relationships. And family just doesn't mean blood. Family means the people that he's brought into your life too. So it can be close friends. It can be people that are just like family to you. So one of the things that we're going to do with that is we're going to have you invest in your family. So your relationships, so your spouse, your kids, your mom, your dad, whoever it is that you know that you need to encourage, we want you to actually encourage and send that out. So that's one of the things we're going to be doing. The 4th area you score yourself on, and part of the gift and part of the 4 anchors of your life, because we live by a code. And the code we live by is this. The last one is your task. And that's your business. That's basically how you earn an income to be able to pay your bills and take care of your family and all that stuff. So we're going to work on that. So we're going to work on our mindset about money. We're going to work on making sure that we're doing things to actually make ourselves a value to our employer. We're going to do things that actually help us move ourselves forward financially. It might be for the first time in your life actually sitting down. I just sat down with someone last week, and for the first time in our lives, we sat down and we made a budget. And we said, okay, here's your budget. Here's what you need to be doing every day. Here's how you need to be handling your money. So we did a budget. And so It might be that. Maybe you've never done a budget before. It might be doing something like that, but it's something that you do. So here's what we do then. When we come back together on Wednesday, we're going to do what I call a General's 10. And what the General's 10 is that we talk about how our week went. We're going to share about that stuff. I'm going to be on here. Lori's going to be with me. She's over here. She's waving. You're waving, aren't you? She's waving.
Yes,
there
I'm
she is.
waving.
She's waving now. So we're going to have some other people that are going to be joining us, I'm sure. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how last week went and how the beginning of this week is going. And we're going to look at the code. We're going to look at these things to drive ourselves deep. And we're going to see how we scored. We're actually going to kind of keep scoring away, not to beat ourselves down. Oh, I only scored 5 points last week. That's terrible. That's horrible. No, that's not what we want to do. We don't want to beat each other up. We want to encourage each other through it. So how can I get better? What can I do better? What kept me from accomplishing what I wanted to last time? So those are the things we're going to talk about on Wednesday nights. I've never done this live before. I've done this in a group, but I've never done it live. We're on Wednesdays, we're going to talk about that stuff. The other thing, I've got an entire book. Hold on a second. 1 minute. Let me go grab it. I've got an entire book of notes that I put together last year. All kinds of fun stuff. Lori actually went through this with me last year. And she thought it was okay. We're going to go through a lot of those. We're going to go through a lot of these things that I went through last year in our mindset group. I'm going to expand on them. We're going to talk about them more. We're going to look at like your giftedness, like what's your passion and your purpose look like? How do you find your passion and your purpose? What does that look like? There are very specific steps people way smarter than me put together 80, 90, 100 years ago that still work today on exactly how to find your passion and your purpose and how to live to that. Every area of your life, whether it's you're driving yourself deep, whether it's input into your life, whether it's your family, we want to help you get better. And the only way I know how to do that is through accountability and also giving you the truth and being real and being honest about that and giving you an opportunity, to share and everything. So this is going to be interactive because this is a Zoom call. So if I wanted to, I could unmute you and you could talk. Whoa, that'd be scary. But we look at different things that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about water. Water is extremely important. Water is all about life. And what it can do for you and what it does for your body. Did you know that 77% of the people that are in the United States are dehydrated? 77%. That's what happens when you go to the emergency room. What's the first thing they do? They give you an IV. They throw you in a bed and they stick an IV in your arm. I don't care what you come in there for. I got a toothache. Oh, you're getting an IV. The reason why is because you're probably dehydrated. And so they want to make sure that they get your fluids levels up. I've literally watched people come in extremely sorry conditions, have them pump an IV into a person, and within 30 minutes, their entire demeanor changes. My daughter, when we were on vacation, she was just horribly sick to the point where she could barely stand up, had to rush her to the hospital. And all it was is the doctor literally put an IV bag in her, got the bag through her, started the second bag, and she literally perked up, mind cleared, was able to talk to us and communicate again, felt strong again, and her whole problem was she had gotten dehydrated. We'd spent a lot of time on the beach, and she just hadn't been drinking enough. Even though we had water everywhere, she just hadn't put it in her body, and it basically caused her to literally have a physical crash. That happens in your body. We're going to talk about things like that because other things like water that you put into your mind cause you to mentally crash. Things that you don't do for your soul cause you to spiritually crash. So those are some of the things that we're going to talk about and we're going to deal with. We're going to talk about food. Up until 100 years ago, well, actually even closer than that, probably 80 years ago, everything that we did for medicine was food. If you had an ailment or whatever and you went to the doctor, he'd say, here, grind this up into a tea and drink it. Your stomach will feel better. Here, grind this root up into a powder and make sure you stick it underneath your tongue, twice a day. That's basically what it was. Our everything that we needed to do to heal our bodies was in eating real whole food. That's what we needed. And we stopped doing that. We stopped eating real whole food. Now we're inundated In fact, the reason that I think people get crazy about diets, or that they look at, and we don't do diets, we do meal plans, is because we still eat carbs. I still have toast. I still have all that stuff, but I trade a lot of the carbs that I used to have with fresh fruits and vegetables. And that makes all the difference in the world. In fact, vegetables make all the difference in the world in terms of your weight loss, in terms of your stomach. It makes a difference in how you feel. It'll actually give you more energy. I've seen people that have literally just said, I'm going to eat this bag of broccoli for a snack every day instead of what I was doing. Just trade out one thing, bag of broccoli every day for a snack, and maybe a handful of blueberries in the afternoon for energy. And that's all they're going to change. And within a week, they feel like they're getting an extra 3 hours of sleep a night. It happens. And all it is real food. You're just putting real food into your body, and it literally makes a lightning change in everything that's going on chemically in your body, because you're actually getting food into your body. So those are the things that we're going to be doing. This is going to be a private group, so nobody's going to see this. Right now I'm kind of broadcasting this to the universe. It won't be like that every week. It's going to be very tight. If you're interested in it, if you want to be involved in it, you need to just message me and I can get you hooked up and get you plugged in. But my main concern is that you actually get results. If you're going to put work in, I want you to get the results. And the only way I know how to do that is to do it the way that it's worked for me and it's worked for thousands of other people. I'm in a group right now that has 7,200 people in it. And every last one of these people would swear that what we do works. And I just go by what they tell me, because I know it's worked for me. They said, here, do this, Doug. I did it. It worked. So I want to just share that with everybody else. But I want to also share it from a mental standpoint too. You can control the joy that you have in your life. Happiness is a fleeting emotion. We'll talk about that. There's a massive difference between happiness and joy. Most of us are chasing happiness. And happiness is a plan to fail. That is a mystical beast. It's a unicorn. Happiness is totally connected to the result of an activity or something that happens. And you can't control what happens. All you can do is control what you put into it. And joy is an entirely different thing. And joy is so much deeper, so much more powerful, so much stronger. Joy can actually heal your body. And I'm not just, spouting witchcraft here. It can literally heal your body because of what you're doing, because of the chemicals that get released when you actually experience joy on a regular basis, irregardless of your circumstances. You can still be amazingly joyful. I'm not saying happy, joyful. Happiness, that can happen, but that disappears within a few moments. This is joy. So we're going to talk about that too. So that's a lot of the things that we're going to be doing. One of the things in this group that we're going to be asking you to do is we're going to be asking you to journal. You have your little book right there I gave you there? Oh, look at this. So if you join this group, I have these books. I will mail it to you if you're not available. But this is basically just a journal book. It's got positive stuff to read on one page, and then on the next page, it's got a place for you to actually write. And this is part of what this is part of what gets your mind going. You need to be able to write it down. One of the things that Steve Harvey's story I told you, he wrote down that he wanted to be on TV. You need to write things down that you want to have happen in your life. Lori's looking for a really good deal on a vehicle. She needs to write that down. She needs to put that in writing. I want to find a good vehicle. She needs to call that out in her mindset, because if she writes it down, then her mind is actually looking for a good vehicle. She's not going to settle on a piece of junk. So, and I know that sounds simplistic, but it works. And that was even the message that Steve Harvey did when he told this story. He said, my dad taught me that if I write it down and I looked at it every day, most of that stuff, you can be your own self-fulfilling prophet. What we do a lot of times is in being our own self-fulfilling prophet, and we are our own self-fulfilling prophet. I was reading today in a book, The Dark Side of the Light Chasers, and she said in there that what you work the hardest at to not have in your life is what comes true. Isn't that weird? So if I'm working super hard to not have something in my life, I literally anchor it deeper into my life because I'm not chasing the right thing. I'm trying to get rid of something I don't want. I'm trying to bail that out. And so what I do is, I'm focused on the wrong thing. it's kind of like our relationship with God. If we focus on, I don't want to do anything that offends God, so I'm going to constantly focus on the things that offend him, guess what? All we're staring at is lying and cheating and stealing and everything else. So guess what we turn into? We become our own self-fulfilling prophet, and we become liars, cheaters, and steals, and thieves. That's what we do. Stealers. We don't become stealers. Pittsburgh Steelers are really good. We don't become those because those are good people. But we become thieves. So when we focus on the right things, when we focus on chasing joy, when we focus on God, when we focus on things that are positive, all that other stuff that we're trying to avoid and trying to get rid of, it goes away because we're filling it with something that we're actually chasing that's good. And we forget that. And so when you're saying, you know, I want to lose weight, so I got to cut out all this food that's making me lose weight. That is the wrong mindset to go after it. No, what you need to do is eat food that's going to fuel your body. And if you look at it that way, this is fuel. When I look at a piece of broccoli, I'm like, this is fuel, and this is going to help get rid of my gut. I know it is because I know what the nutrients are that are in this broccoli, and it's good for me, and it's going to help me. And every time I take a bite of food, I'm looking at it as fuel. I'm not looking at it as something I'm trying to get rid of. Well, I can't have this. I need to get rid of that. I'm guilty eating this piece of pizza. No, it's fuel. And when you look at it as fuel and how you're fueling your body, your relationship with food changes. So, because what you spend energy on trying to get rid of, you end up becoming. And we can't do that to ourselves. We can't expend that kind of energy because what you fear the most in your life will come true because it's what you're focused on. You become your own self-fulfilling prophet, basically. And we never, ever, ever want to do that. We never want to become our own prophet. So in a bad way, where we're focusing on the wrong things. I didn't know that 3 years ago. When I started focusing not on the fact that working out hurt and it bothered me and I couldn't do it, when I started focusing on the fact that this is making me stronger, this is giving me energy, this is going to do something for me, and I looked at it from a discipline standpoint instead of how it was making me feel in the moment. I'll be honest with you, when I've got to do burpees, if you know what a burpee is, if I've got to do burpees, those hurt. I don't care who you are. If anybody tells you they're lying if they tell you they love burpees. Nobody loves burpees. I have a friend that's a Navy SEAL, and he basically said to me, he said, you know what my workout is? Do burpees till I puke. Well, there's nothing fun about that. That's not a good time. Let's be honest. It's not. But doing a burpee, I know what it's doing for my body. I know the longevity it's giving me in life. I know that it's making me stronger. I know when I look at that flight of stairs at work that I had to go up today, I'm not like groaning because I got to go up this flight of stairs. I'm like, yeah, it's flight of stairs. I can get up them because I've done burpees. So I've made myself stronger mentally. I've made myself stronger, everywhere I need to be. So that's kind of the nutshell of that. So I just want you to get a different mindset about how you look at things, and that's what we're going to talk about. The coolest part about what we do, though, on Wednesday nights is we're going to actually be able to share how we're doing. We're going to be able to, I wrote something down. Lori's going to start journaling with me. I journal every day. And here, I wrote some stuff down this morning out of my reading. I'll just read you what I actually wrote down today. I think what's today? Let's go over here. What we fear appears. Isn't that true? When you fear something, it actually appears. Things that we don't accept about ourselves will draw people to us that have that trait till we accept it. Think about that. Things that we do not accept about ourselves. So anything that I don't accept about myself, if I don't accept the fact about me that I struggle with lying. If I struggle with lying and I know that that's a problem with me, if I don't accept that about myself, guess what? I draw people to me that lie. They'll be everywhere. I'm like, why is everybody lying to me? Why can nobody tell me the truth? Because I haven't taken care of that in my own life. I haven't accepted that about me. I haven't accepted it about myself that, you know what? I have a tendency to lie. And I'm not taking care of that. When you're angry all the time, and you have a struggle with anger, and you're blowing up all the time, guess who you invite around you? Everybody who wants to have a volcanic eruption. So things that we do not accept about ourselves will draw people with that trait until we do accept it. We'll literally attract that trait until we get to the point where we can accept it in our lives that I struggle with that, and that's me. That's who I am. That's me as a person. And so now I need to change that narrative, and I need to change that story, and I need to look at it from the other side. So, because there's a good side to every bad trait. Being angry can just be that you're passionate. You're just putting way too much horsepower behind it. That's all. And being passionate is a good thing. We need passionate people. We need dynamic leaders, but we don't need you to be angry. So that's putting too much horsepower to it. And that's usually what we find out. So those are some of the things we're going to talk about. But I just, I wrote a whole bunch of stuff about wasting resources. Yesterday, I put my passion and purpose. How can I impact people in every area? And what am I asking God for? How am I going to do it? And what am I asking God for in my life? What am I really asking him for? What am I really trying to do? Is the same tough love and passage and message that changed my life the message that I need to be sharing with others? That's the stuff I wrote down yesterday, because I realized somebody had to have some tough love for me to get to change. Sometimes my wife has to give me tough love. So now I got to sit there and I got to ask myself, okay, so what can I do, and how can I do this? And I also want to make sure that things that move, that things happen that I can't take credit for, that I know they're from God. So I even wrote that down. God, make sure that you do things that I can't take credit for. Do things that I can't take credit for. And that needs to be a prayer every day of mine. Do things I can't take credit for. Because I want to be able to see him in what's going on in my life. So those are just some of the things I wrote down yesterday. So, and then this morning. So that's the kind of stuff. It's just as things come to you, you just write it down. Because those things will start changing your life when you go back and read those. Those things will become important to you. So, all right, guys, I said we were going to go for 30 minutes. It's almost 30 minutes. But I just want to share with you what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be talking about. This is hopefully going to be way more interactive as we go. But I'm excited about being able to do this. Like I say, I've never done Zoom calls every single week for part of the groups that I'm in. So this will be fun. And people can check in and see how they're doing. So I'm excited about that. So, guys, that's all I've got for tonight. I want you to go bring the joy to somebody tonight. I am going to, when I leave here, stop and get dog food. And I'm actually going to bring dog food home to my dogs. And they don't have any right now. So they're going to be really joyful to see me. So I'm going to bring joy to my dogs tonight. I already got that one in the bag. So, but anyway, I just wanted to share that with you about what we're doing. And I hope that makes sense. And I hope to see you guys on Wednesday night. Message me if you want details on how to get into this group, because like I said, this is going to be a very private group, very closed. It's just going to be us. We're going to get around some really cool people. I may even have a guest speaker or two come in, which is going to be pretty exciting for me, because some of these people are pretty successful in life. And I'm going to have them come in and share what their mindset is and how they made mindset changes in their life to maybe save their marriage. Or be able to save themselves, save their health, whatever. So that's what we're going to try and do. Hope that makes sense. Love you guys. Own your day. Bring the joy. And I will talk to you later. Bye.